You reach a small chamber set above the tunnel. Here, at last, it is dry, although the foul sewer gas permeates everything. You hurry along the narrow passage, which turns first to the west and then to the south, but your heart sinks as you see a dead end looming out of the inky blackness. Oh man, if you wish to search for a hidden exit. Yes, I wish to search for a hidden exit. I think I screwed myself over. Alright, you hack the dirt encrusted floor and uncover a large metal ring. Oh, maybe not. Which proves to be part of an old trapdoor. The metal ring is badly corroded, but you manage to prise the trapdoor open. It covers a deep shaft. From the inky blackness below comes the stench of the sewer. The Sharnazim are climbing up the stone steps. Their pounding footsteps match your racing heartbeat. If you wish to jump down the shaft, yes, I'm going to jump down the shaft. Fighting these guys is not a good idea. You fall face first into putrid water. The oily slime fills your ears and nose and chokes in your throat. Oh my god. You surface and struggle out onto a narrow walkway, only to find that your arm no longer functions. Your wounded shoulder, injured by the falling trapdoor girdle, now stings painfully, but now the whole arm below still stings painfully, but now the whole arm below is numb and useless. Horror overcomes you as you realize what is wrong. Oh, this isn't good. I forgot about this. You recognize the symptoms of limb death. The wound has become infected by thousands of limb death microbes, one of many strains of deadly bacteria. Really? How does this world know about bacteria? Do we have microscopes? They be found in the Bagadars. None of your Kai skills can prevent the eventual loss of your arm. There is only one cure for the disease. The infected wound must be treated with the herb Oede within 24 hours. Unless you find some Oede by mid-afternoon tomorrow, your arm will become gangrenous. You will then have to choose between losing your arm or losing your life. This dreadful realization renews your determination to escape from the terrible place, for you can be sure of one thing. You will find no Oede in Bagadars. God, I forgot about that. There is a way to escape and not get this disease, but yeah, I wasn't that lucky. So, we got problems, don't we? You need your numb arm in an effort to massage some life back into it, but it is useless. The muscles are limp and nerveless. The only consolation is that it is not your weapon arm, but as long as you are suffering from this disease, you cannot use a shield of any sort. Deduct 3 points from your combat skill. The lost points may be recovered if you should regain the use of your arm. So now, I can't use a shield, which is -2, and -3. So now I'm only at a +4. For my weapon skill and my silver helm, and my combat is down to 15. So now yeah, that hurts me bad. That makes me lose 5 combat skill points. Whew. All right, you turn your attention to your surroundings in an effort to find some way of escape from the nightmare sewer. The passage ahead winds and curves like a giant snake, and the foul air that drifts towards you is hot and humid. You have shaken off your pursuers, but you now have the problem of your arm to solve. The temperature rises steadily until you are bathed in sweat. Ahead, you can see a chamber filled with steam that rises from its bubbling floor. You are about to enter the chamber when you catch a glimpse of the danger awaiting you. The stone walkway ends abruptly, only a few yards into the chamber. 10 feet below, lying before you like the surface of a huge bubbling cauldron, is a tar scar, a mud geyser. These geysers are common in Vasagonia. Much of the desert empire is unstable, and although it is subject to constant earth tremors, it rarely results in great destruction. The Vasagonians call these tremors Dasa Dapim, which means the wrestling gods. This particular mud geyser has been put to practical use. It provides a constant source of heat for the dwellings built over the chamber. The steam from the Tower Soka rises into a pair of huge circular chimneys in the dome ceiling, which in turn feed heat to the buildings above. Your only way out of this chamber is by climbing one of these chimneys. Although there are no ladders or the rock-hewn chamber wall offers many footholds. Alright, if you wish to climb the left chimney or the right chimney, I have no idea. Let's leave it to random numbers. 0 through 4 is left, 5 through 9 is right. So we're going up the left chimney. You pull yourself into the left chimney and pause to catch your breath. The scalding steam hurts your lungs. With every move, every move becomes a tremendous strain, and your hands and feet are now swollen and sore. Lose 1 endurance point. Yay! Alright, you hook your fingers into a jagged crack in the wall of the sweltering chimney and try and draw yourself upwards. Suddenly, a wave of fear engulfs you. Something is crawling up your forearm. You have disturbed a nest of loathsome arachnids. Oh, joy! These creatures are immune to Mind Blast. If you have lost the use of one arm, you cannot fight these biting horrors, for you will inevitably slip and fall into the Tarasoka. Pick a number on the random number table. This represents the number of endurance points you lose. 0 equals 10 as you climb past the steam spider's nest. Oh, fantastic. Alright, random number table. 10. Oh, really? Thank you, random number table. You are always on my side. the absolute most endurance points I can lose, it makes me lose. So I'm down to 24 endurance points. And I haven't even fought a battle yet. That's crazy. If you are still alive after climbing past the nest, or if you win the fight, turn to page 114. Alright. You reach a point where the chimney is no longer a vertical shaft, but curves into a horizontal tunnel leading south. Although the heat is oppressive, the steam has cleared. Every nerve and tissue in your body seems agonizingly sensitive, and you progress along the narrow shaft with difficulty. All hope of signing a peace treaty with the Nusa Khan has vanished. Your only concern now is to escape from this hellish sewer and somehow get back to Summerland as quickly as possible. You notice a square vent cover. In the ceiling, less than 10 feet ahead. It is badly corroded, and you have to lie on your back and kick with both your feet to force it open. The effort drains your last reserves of stamina, but you are rewarded with success. By pure chance, you have gained access to the one place in Marrakesh you most needed to visit: the public baths. All right. I'm wondering if I should use a potion, but I don't think so. I'm not that bad off right now, so, and plus my healing will help, so, you know, we won't use it yet. You enter a large vestibule constructed from blocks of pink and white marble. A man with white robe sits near the door in the far wall. He is reading a scroll held close to his face. He has not seen you enter the baths, but he is quick to sense your presence, and we got a picture of an old man with a scroll. Yeah. By the Mahan, he cries, you smell worse than a Baknar. Hey, Baknars can smell quite nice, mister. He hurls a towel at you and points to the door. Take my advice, he whines, his finger pinched shut his nostrils. Don't get undressed. Your clothes need a bath as much as you. Probably good advice, actually. You grit your teeth in anticipation of the moment when he sees that you are not Vestigonian, but he simply returns to his scroll, holding the parchment close to his short-sighted eyes. You smile as you realize that the man cannot see you clearly enough to know that you are a foreigner. Beyond the door, there is a long hall leading at regular intervals into smaller open chambers, each with a sunken bath. Perfumed water constantly splashes into the baths and drains away directly into the bagadores. You decide to take the bath attendant's advice and jump straight into the cool water, keeping all your clothes on. You notice a large earthenware jar stands beside the bath, full to the brim with translucent purple oil. If you have the Kai discipline of healing, turn to page 6. I like this. If you wish to swallow some of the oil, or if you wish to rub it on your skin. Yeah, this is not good oil for eating. I mean, who does that? Who goes to like a bathhouse or takes a bath and notices there's some sort of oil or lotion next to the bath and go, oh, I bet this is for food. The oil is made from the fruit of the lanuma tree. It has a soothing and relaxing effect when rubbed on the skin. If you choose to rub the lanuma oil on your skin, turn to page 103. You feel your muscles start to relax. The oil soothes the cuts and bruises which cover your body and restores 2 endurance points. Mark the necessary points in your action chart. That added with the 3 we've gained through healing will put us at 29. So we're getting back up there. Alright. Having washed off the worst of the dirt, you clamber out of the bath and enter a small antechamber. The room is hot and arid, and your clothes are soon as dry as a bone. Beyond the antechamber is another hall, this time crowded with people, some seated, others standing, and everyone busy in conversation. These are the free baths of Barakish, and the citizens of the capital are justly proud of them. They are the envy of the other desert cities, where water is scarce and precious. The citizens treat the baths as a forum, a place for meeting and talking with friends. Much of the conversation you overhear is about the Zakan. Few speak well of him. Or about the new Zakan. Few speak well of him. You wrap yourself in a large towel and make your way through the crowd towards the main entrance. If you wish to keep the towel once you are outside, you must mark it on your action pack. It takes 2 backpack items. No, don't have the room. Sorry, you'll have to go. Hurrying down the steps and away from the bathhouse, you enter the Sadi Tas Uoda, the Square of the Dead. Jet black flagstones cover the square, each with a long iron spike set deep into the center. From the bath hall steps, the square resembles the back of a massive iron porcupine. But when you reach the base of the steps, you realize that the Sadi Tas Uda is in fact far more sinister. Stuck on the top of each spike is a human skull, all that remains of the pirates, murderers, and traitors and thieves who have ever been sentenced to death. The grisly display serves as a warning to others never to defy the law of the Zakan. As you reach the far side of the square, you brush against a spike. Fresh blood is smeared across the arm of your tunic, staining it dark red. You raise your eyes, cursing your misfortune, and are shocked into silence by the sight before you. And then of course we have pictures of heads on spikes. Very lovely. Alright, impaled upon the sharp iron pole is the head of the Vasagonian envoy. To either side of the head are the heads of the galley crew. On each of their foreheads is freshly branded one word: traitor. Fear wells up inside you. Turning your face away from the sightless eyes, you run into the crowded streets of the Mekurum, the district where the spice and herb merchants live. At the end of the narrow, winding street, you reach a junction. Opposite is a shop with a bright red sign above the door. Beradara Masoon, herb mistress. If you need the Oede herb, turn to page 68. I really do need the Oede herb. Part the curtains of beads hanging in the doorway and enter the cool interior. The lifeless arm that hangs limply by your side has taken on a bluish hue. Fear returns, and you must find the Oede herb to cure the disease, or you will lose the whole limb and possibly your life. A woman appears from the shadows of the counter. She has piercing green eyes, and her red hair is raised, bound round with rings of jade. "Welcome, Northlander," she says, in a voice both soft and clear. "How may I serve you?" You hesitate before replying, "Oede." She narrows her eyes and casts a glance at your injured arm. "I cannot help you," she says sorrowfully. "Oede is now a very rare and precious herb. I would have to sell my shop and all my possessions in order to buy just one small pouch of it. There is only one man in Barakish rich enough to possess this herb, the Zakan." Sweat breaks out upon your brow as your fear grows. "What little Oede there is," she continues, "is kept in the grand palace under lock and key." You ask if there is any other herb that can cure your arm. She shakes her head from side to side. "Only Oede will cure limb death, and you can only find that in the strong room of the Imperial Apothecary." She reaches behind the counter and brings forward 3 glass bottles, each containing a colored liquid. "They will not cure you, but they will dull the pain in the last few hours. If you wish to examine the potions, turn to page 27. I do! Each of the 3 bottles bears a label handwritten in green ink. La Numero oil, it stores 2 endurance points. Lamsfer, 4 endurance points. And Rindalim's elixir stores 6 endurance points per dose, 7 gold. You may purchase any of the above. The prices are per dose. All the potions are backpack items. The herb mistress then escorts you to the door. Per dose? So can I have more than 1 dose of it? I guess that means I can, right? I mean, because if that's the case, I can just spend my money and get like a backpack full of heal 6 endurance points. Oh man. I don't know. Let's is there a footnote or something? No. Alright, let's do it this way. I'm going to replace... It says per dose. I'm going to take 2. Alright? It's 7 gold coins. So I'm going to take 2. And I'm going to replace my potions. Plus 4 for potions plus 6. Alright? Simply because... I don't know. And then I'll subtract 14, which will make me this... 34 gold coins. Because, I mean, how many doses? Let's just say 2. Alright? Is it a waste of money? Maybe. But you never know. That extra endurance points may come in handy at some point. Especially considering that we can keep these as long as we need to in our adventures. Alright? Alright. The herb mistress escorts you to the side door. I sense your despair, Northlander. I pray you find your cure. As you leave, she offers a word of advice. The guards at the north gate of the Grand Palace can be bribed. You thank her and enter the alley running along the side of the shop. Your desire to leave this treacherous city is overcome by your fear of losing your arm. You must get the Oede herb, even though it means you will have to enter the very palace you are most anxious to avoid, the Grand Palace. The alley follows a tortuous route through the Mikarum, finally leading you to the Horm Tas Lalam, the tomb of the princess. Beyond the tomb is the Grand Palace rises like a massive white pantheon. You suddenly recall a legend told to you by your Kai masters long ago, the nemesis of the Black Zakan. The Black Zakan was a brutal tyrant, the cruelest of an evil lineage that ruled over the Desert Empire long ago. The barbaric excesses of his reign have never been forgotten in the Lasted Lands. Their grand palace was built by his army of prisoners from countries he had conquered in the war. The palace became his obsession. He personally oversaw the entire construction and punished the workers personally if there was even the slightest delay. He butchered his subjects indiscriminately and in the most terrible fashion. His favorite form of execution was for the victim to be sawn in half from head to foot until the body fell in 2 pieces. Actually, that was a form of torture back in the day. Blech. However, it was the mass execution of the slaves who built the Grand Palace that made him infamous. He slaughtered every slave worker so that his enemies could never learn the secret treasure chambers he had constructed. Among the slaves were his only daughters, Kabila and Sose, who openly opposed their father's cruelty and tried to prevent the executions. In blind rage, he ordered they should be the first to die. It would have been better for the Zakan and for Vasagonia if he himself had died that day. He lived for another 2 years. His mind was unhinged by guilt, and he was tortured by self-loathing and despair. In the Grand Palace, the silence of the night was frequently broken by the Zakan's moans and cries as he wandered from room to room looking for his daughters. When he died, he was laid beside them, here in the tomb of the princesses. From where you stand, you can see 2 entrances to the Grand Palace. Oh, wow. Okay, so that was a weird story. Sorry, where was I? From where you stand, you can see 2 entrances to the Grand Palace. A spike-topped gate in the north wall, and an arch in the west wall, blocked by an iron portcullis. The palace is usually heavily guarded, but there are a few guards today. Most are in search of you in the city. Oh, well, hooray. If you wish to approach the north gate, if you wish to approach the west arch, if you wish to approach some other way search for some other way of entering the Grand Palace, yes, we always want to see what all our options are. The outer wall of the Grand Palace is far too high to climb, and even if you had a rope long enough, your green Kai cloak would be seen from miles set against the white sun-bleached marble wall. You crouch in the shadow of the doorway while you concentrate on working out a plan. There is a constant traffic of mounted scouts and couriers from the north gate. Those arriving hand a scroll of parchment to 2 of the guards before they enter. Slowly, a bold plan begins to take shape in your mind. If you could overpower one of the couriers before he reaches the palace gate, you could disguise yourself in his clothes and use his scroll to gain entrance. Many of the couriers approach the Grand Palace from the harbor, and although it is infested with troops, you discover the ideal place to ambush a rider. There is a broad avenue where the bridge of gnarled old wood and metal curves over the street. Here, beneath the wooden arch, you lie in wait for your prey. Your chance soon arrives. A black-robed rider enters the avenue and spurs his horse along the street. He will have to pass beneath the arch. You prepare to pounce. Pick a number on the random number table. If you have the Kai discipline of hunting, add 1 to the number you have picked. If you have reached the Kai rank of savant, add 3 to the number you have picked. I have both, so I get to add 4 to this random number of 8. Why is it whenever I gotta add something to it, it's always way above what I need? But whenever I don't, it's always, you know what, never mind. The courier screams as he falls, but is dead before his head hits the cobblestones. You waste little time dragging his body into the shadows. You don his loose robe and raise the hood, concealing your tunic and your face. In the pocket of the robe, you find a scroll, the pass needed to enter the Grand Palace. The dead courier's horse has bolted and fled, but your appearance at the gate on foot does not seem to arouse any suspicion. The guard inspects the scroll with bored indifference and allow you to pass the gate into the palace gardens beyond. Yay! Crap. I've forgotten how many places I've gone since I left the bathhouse. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I think 7? Well, it's more than enough to get us back up to full, so... Alright, you must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Ah, crap. Why didn't I at least read that before I did this? I don't have a meal, do I? No, of course not. Ah, woe is me. You pass unseen through the exotic plants that grow everywhere in abundance. The gravel path divides a lawn of strange, luxuriant purple grass that leads to a magnificent fountain. A jet of clear blue water catches the sun, reflecting and refracting the eye-dazzling rainbow of color. You gaze beyond the fountain to where the vaulting towers of the palace soar into the sky, and carefully note the positions of the doors and windows. There are 2 entrances to the Grand Palace from the gardens. You can either go through the palace kitchens or through the Vizardara, the Zakan's trophy hall. However, only one of these entrances will lead to the Imperial Apothecary and to the precious Oede herbs stored there. If you have the Kai discipline of tracking or sixth sense, turn to page 37, okay? The Imperial Apothecary can only be reached from the palace gardens by entering the Vizardara. The kitchens are part of the slave quarters, under constant supervision of the cruel slave masters and guards. You wait until the path and lawns are deserted before you run across to the door of the Vizardara. You reach the door of the Vizardara without being seen, only to find that it is securely bolted from the inside. You are about to curse your bad luck when you notice a window set into the elaborately carved panel above the door. The iron shutter is open. In spite of your injured arm, you successfully climb the nail-studded door and drop through the window into the silence of the trophy room. An eerie collection of stuffed heads lines the walls of the private chamber. Most of these are reptilian desert creatures, souvenirs of imperial hunting expeditions into the dry main. Among the snake-like trophies more gruesome are human heads. These are ghoulish battle honors, the heads of enemy commanders slain in battle during the countless wars waged by Vasagonia. You hurry out of the Vizardar and into the long marble corridor where the walls are inlaid with veins of gold and pearls. It leads to a large hall where palace guards and brightly robed couriers are walking to and fro, but a colonnade of statues provides the cover you need to reach the distant staircase unseen. Stealthily, you sprint up the staircase to arrive at a junction where passages head off east and west. At the end of each is a door with a symbol engraved into the wall above. The symbol above the east door depicts a mortal and pestle, the symbol above the west door, an open book. If you wish to investigate the east door or the west door. Obviously, I want to go to the east door for the mort and pestle, because that's alchemy ingredients. So I'm going to go there. The door is unlocked, and for a moment your heart sinks. If this room where the Imperial Apothecary where the Oede herb is kept, why is the door not locked and guarded? Anxiously you slip inside and survey the interior. It seems to be an apothecary. Glass retorts bubble and steam over jets of blue flame, and strange fluids pass back and forth through the crazy maze of tubes and tunnels. Hundreds of herb jars line the far wall, and 10 large copper urns, each full of rainbow-colored powder, hang suspended from the soot-blackened ceiling. You begin searching through the herb jars, and suddenly you discover why the door is left unlocked. Creeping slowly towards you is the cat-like creature that guards the apothecary. Its eyes glow a vivid green luminescence as it prepares to strike. Another kitty? Oh, I love these guys. They're so cute. Alright, the Elix has a combat skill of 17. Wow, guys, our first fight of the book. Imagine that. If you have ever fought an Elix before, add 2 to your combat skill for the duration of the fight. You cannot evade the combat and must fight to the death. Yay! Because we fought kitties before and we know how to kick their butts. Alright, so I'm going to add 2. So back up to 6. So I'm at a combat skill of 21. It's at a combat skill of 17. Let's do this. Combat skill 17. Endurance 32. Let's get it on. Alright, he's down to 22. I'm down to 31. He's down to 15. I'm down to 28. Wow, we are hurting each other something bad. Bad kitty! And he's dead, and I'm down. Woohoo! He's dead. I didn't lose any of that last round. Finally murdered the cat. Bad kitty. There's my spray bottle. Alright, so we are down to 28 hit points. And he's dead. Alright, so he actually did manage to hurt us a little bit. Breathless from the exertion of combat, you step back as the Elix finally collapses and dies. Slowly, its glass green eye mist over and become opaque, like hard, cold jadin. Around the creature's blood-spattered throat hangs a gold key on a chain. You quickly discover that the gold key opens the steel door of a strong room at the far end of the apothecary. High upon a shelf, just inside the door, you find a small box that contains what you seek, the Oede herb. Within seconds of pressing the beautiful golden leaves to your wounded shoulder, a tingling sensation engulfs your whole arm. The numbness soon fades, and both your arm and shoulder are free of the horrific limb death microbes. Sufficient Oede herb remains in the box for one further application. It is a powerful substance that can be used against the many deadly diseases, or alternatively can be used to restore 10 endurance points if swallowed after combat. If you wish to mark it on your action chart, it's a backpack item. Yeah, I do! Woo! Gonna use my... there it is. Come on. Let's get rid of this guy right here. Exchange it for the, come on. Anytime now. There you go. Bam! Plus 10. Man, I am like a walking healing machine right now. You should also restore your combat skill points that were temporarily lost due to limb death. You are absolutely right. So now we are back up to where we should be. 24 combat skill. Very nice. After dragging the dead Elix into the strong room, you lock the steel door from the inside. You notice that there are in fact 2 doors to the strong room. The one by which you entered, and a smaller door set in the opposite wall. The gold key opens the lock of the new door, which leads to a narrow staircase beyond, dimly lit by flaring torches and wall brackets. The climb is steep and arduous. You suspect that these steps are part of a secret route to the strong room, and your suspicions are only confirmed when you arrive at what appears to be a dead end. A closer examination reveals a narrow bronze door set flush to the wall, plain in appearance except for the tiny keyhole close to the floor. As you insert and twist the gold key, you are quietly confident that the bronze door will open. You hear a faint click followed by a soft whirling sound. The bronze door slides open and you hurry through. The door clicks shut behind you as softly as it opened. Let me guess, you lose the key. This section is the correct answer. Oh, okay. If you took another route, there was a lock you had to pick, or a combination you had to figure out. But we didn't have to do that. So, instinct tells you that you have entered the chambers of the Upper Palace, the sumptuous private enclave of the Zakan. You walk upon glistening tiles of opal and platinum, past sculptures and statues of pure gold. The door of solid amethyst ahead seems plain in comparison to the breathtaking splendor of this private world. Beyond the door lies another unique and startlingly beautiful world. The Arboretum, a circular cathedral-like arena, spreads out below you. the green velvet canopy alive with the sound of birdsong. Trees of every color, shape, and size flourish in deep, dark soil of the floor. The Zakan's Arboretum houses a specimen of every tree that grows in Magnamund, and many species that are now extinct elsewhere. As you walk through the wrought iron balcony which encircles the Arboretum, you recognize the leaves of the summer-loving oak. You feel a sudden wave of homesickness, but it does not make you despair. Rather, it renews your determination to escape from this hostile, sun-bleached land. At one of the exits from the Arboretum, you discover a quarterstaff propped against the wall. If you wish to take this, I don't need it. The desire to escape urges you on as you leave the Arboretum and hurry through a network of lavish corridors and empty, deserted vestibules. You reach a landing where a broad staircase descends to a massive room that occupies most of the lower palace. From the top of the staircase, hidden by the shadow of the pilaster, you stare down on a sight that freezes your blood with terror. Dun dun dun! Come on. Upon a raised platform carpeted in scarlet fur sits the Vasigonian Emperor, Zakan Kima. He is robed in gold, but devoid of all ornamentation. In his hand is an orb of black metal, and in his eye an ice-cold cruelty that chills your spine. The Zakan is a man of awesome continuance, but he pales in the shadow of his companion. Awesome continuance. What did I say? Continuance? Ha ha ha. Before him stands the cause of your terror. A helm as black as death itself hides his face, but the stench of decay and a hideous sulfurical voice betray his identity. Give me Lone Wolf. It is the fell voice of a mortal enemy, a Dark Lord of Helgadad. As the Zakan rises to his feet, you notice a flicker of doubt, or perhaps fear, dim his cruel gaze, but he is quick to mask it. He will be brought to you at sunset in exchange for the Orb of Death. It is agreed. You have the orb, the chilling voice, echoes the chilling voice. Give me Lone Wolf. The Zakan hides his fear well, but time is not on his side. The game of bluff he is playing is deadly. However, the fact that he has not yet been discovered is evidence of his powerful will, for you sense the Dark Lord is persistently clawing and probing at his mind. You will get your Northlander, Lord Hakan, says the Zakan, his voice curt with anger, when you tell me why your servants defile the tomb of the Mahan. You claim you have no need for gold or jewels. Why then do you plunder the graves of our ancestors? A deathly quiet fills the hall. Only the unnatural hiss of the Dark Lord's breath disturbs the silence. This land, this insignificant speck of sand, harbors two small thorns that prick our skin. We seek to remove them both, forever. The fledgling Kai, Lone Wolf, is the thorn that denies us Summerland. The tomb of the Mahan hides the other thorn that threatens us, the accursed Book of the Magna Kai. Your heart pounds as the words echo in your head. The Book of the Magna Kai. Suddenly, the reason why you have been enticed in this deadly trap becomes clear, and the sinister truth is revealed. The Book of the Magna Kai is one of the oldest legends of Summerland. With the wisdom of the Magna Kai, Sun Eagle, the first Grand Kai Master, instilled the disciplines into the warriors of the House of Unlar, the bloodline of your king, that were to save your land from the devastation at the hands of the Dark Lords. The Book of the Magna Kai was lost hundreds of years ago, but its wisdom was kept alive, handed down through generations of Summerlanding warriors, so that they could share the strength to resist their eternal enemies, the Dark Lords of Helgadad. If the Dark Lords discover and destroy the Book of the Magna Kai, the secrets will be lost forever, and when you die, the Kai will become extinct. However, if you discover the Book of the Magna Kai, first and deny the Dark Lords their prize, all the wisdom of the Magna Kai will be revealed to you. Through its wisdom, you will become strong enough to reach the ultimate achievement of a Summerlanding warrior, to become a Grand Kai Master. A Kai Grandmaster. However, the peril and the glory of the quest that lies ahead is distracting you from a more immediate danger. To discover this danger and begin the quest for the Book of the Magna Kai, turn to part 2 of Shadow on the Sand. Alright, so that is the end of the first part of the adventure. And the second part of the adventure is about us trying to escape and find the Book of the Magna Kai. Alright. Yay! Let's go!